Hello, my dear students. Welcome once again to Zenith Academy Online. My name is Fatema Vhora, and today we are going to study General Science of Standard 8th from Maharashtra State Board. Let's get started. Today's chapter that we are going to study is about pollution, which is very common in today's time. So, let's see what it has to offer. So, my dear students, first and foremost, we will see that what is environment and what is its problem. Now, we all know that the ecosystem or the nature around us is called as environment. But in today's time, many problems are arising on Earth in our environment due to interference of human in the nature. Whatever human beings do or the progress that human beings are making, like industrialization, increasing population, mining, transportation, then indiscriminate use. Indiscriminate use means unlimited use. There is no proportion or limit to how much amount of pesticides and fertilizers are used. So all these activities are causing pollution on earth, and it is affecting human beings adversely. Not only human beings, but the flora and fauna also. Now, what does pollution mean? This is the problem that environment is facing. But what exactly pollution means? Pollution means contamination of natural environment. Means the environment that is naturally present around us that gets contaminated, and it will become harmful to the ecosystem. That is called as pollution. Means when the nature or the environment around us is got contaminated due to human activities or natural activities that we will see further, and it becomes harmful to the entire ecosystem. Entire ecosystem means it has adverse effect on human health, animals, plants, everything. Now that is called as pollution. Let's move ahead and see and study pollution in detail. Pollutants. Now, we studied pollution. What is pollution? The contamination of natural environment. But what causes pollution are called as pollutants. Means the factors that cause pollution are called as pollutants. Factors affecting natural functions of ecosystem and causing harmful effects on abiotic and biotic, living and non-living factors are called as pollutants. Means whatever फैक्टर्स आर अफेक्टिंग द सिस्टम, जो भी चीजें हैं जिसकी वजह से हमारे इकोसिस्टम में हार्मफुल इफेक्ट्स हो रहे हैं, वो फैक्टर्स लिविंग भी हो सकते हैं, नॉन लिविंग भी हो सकते हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज pollutants. Now, pollutants make the environment poisonous and unhealthy. Obviously, they are the agents or factors causing pollution. So, due to them, the environment becomes toxic, poisonous, and unhealthy. Pollutants may be natural or man-made. Natural pollutants are destroyed in due course of time. Why? Because they are a part of nature. So after a period of time, they again mix into the nature itself and they are subsided. They get destroyed. However, man-made pollutants do not get destroyed. Means what happens that these chemicals, insecticides, pesticides, fertilizers, these things are chemicals and these are man-made. So whatever things due to these chemicals there is some kind of pollution occurring, nature will not accept it. It will not get destroyed in due course of time like natural pollutants. If natural material are pollutants, why do we not perceive their adverse effect? Because they are already present in the nature and our body is immune to them in certain ways. We do not get adversely affected by them. Our body, our system is made in such a way that we get merged, we stay together with the nature. And when such materials are referred as pollutants, when these are referred as pollutants, when they are in a larger amount, अगर यूजुअली 0.1% में प्रेजेंट हो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल पोलन ग्रेन्स, लेकिन कोई साइक्लोन या किसी भी नेचुरल रीजन की वजह से अगर ये पोल्यूटेंट्स बहुत ज्यादा क्वांटिटी में है प्रेजेंट, सो दे आर pollutants, but हमें उससे ज्यादा इफेक्ट क्यों नहीं होता? बिकॉज दे आर ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट इन द नेचर. हो सकता है दैट वी जस्ट गेट कॉमन कोल्ड लाइक एलर्जिक काइंड ऑफ, but it gets subsided with due course of time. Let's see, move ahead and move to the next slide. Now, what is the reason of air pollution? Now, first we are going to study is air pollution, and there are always two reasons of each kind of pollution, natural and man-made. So, first we will study the natural reasons of air pollution. First one is volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption. We all know what volcano is. Okay, so volcano is lava erupting from a mountain. So when volcano erupts, solids, gaseous and liquid materials emerge out of the earth's surface through this eruption. What kind of materials are these? Hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, ammonium chloride, and hydrogen vapors, dust, etc. Okay, all these things, they arise. But what happens when these things arise? These are not naturally present in our environment. They are in larger quantities. If they are present, then they become dangerous to us. They cause poison. So these volcanic eruptions and all these gases and chemicals that erupt in the volcano are a cause of air pollution. The second one is earthquake. When earthquake occurs, that time also poisonous gases and water vapors from inside of the earth's crust are released into air. Now, earth's crust is very warm. Okay, and not we are not used to it because we live on the surface of earth. There are many things going under the surface of the earth. So when these things erupt and mix with the environment, mix with the air, so it becomes poisonous for us. That's why earthquakes are also a cause of air pollution. Next is cyclones and dust storms. Obviously, cyclones and dust storms are the cause of air pollution because then visibility becomes less. Dust, soil, garbage, pollens, microbes, everything mixes with the air in the cyclone and it attacks or it destroys the environment around it. Next is forest fires. Now, forest fires, they are natural reasons. So, forest fires can get ignited or get started even with a small kind of fire. Now, forest fires releases carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide in very huge quantities in the air. See, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and smoke. All these things are released in the air. So when these things are released in the air and that air we breathe in, so that is a polluted air because these chemicals or these compounds are not naturally present in the air composition. Last is microbes. There are certain microorganisms in the air. As we know that we have just emerged from pandemic and coronavirus was airborne infection. We always used to cover our nose and mouth. Why? Because we breathe that air. So certain kind of microorganisms, bacteria, spores of bacteria, fungi, etc. mixed with the air, making the air polluted and unhealthy. Let's move ahead. Now we move towards man-made reasons of air pollution. First one is fuel. When we burn fuels like coal, timber, LPG, kerosene, petrol, diesel, all these fuels, when they burn, they release CO2, that is carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, that is CO, then nitrogen dioxide, NO2, sulfur dioxide, SO2, lead compounds, etc. When all these harmful compounds are released in air, this air becomes extremely unhealthy and polluted, and if breathed if people breathe in this air, then definitely they are bound to get some or the other infections related to lungs. Next is burning of solid waste, agricultural waste in open spaces causes air pollution. As we know that the basic method of disposal of garbage that people follow is burning of garbage. So when we burn this garbage and agricultural waste etc. in open space, the smoke and the ashes released from this burning, they mix with the air and it causes air pollution. Second man-made reason is industrialization. Day to day we are progressing. We are progressing and our progress has no bounds. So we are progressing, our industries are expanding, and when these industries expand, obviously smoke is released in large and large quantities from various factories. Sulfur powder, nitrogen oxide, cottonseed powder, etc. These are released in air. Of course, there is no other way of emission, but when these compounds, they get mixed with the air, the quality of air gets deteriorated and the air becomes polluted. The third man-made reason is atomic energy plants and blast. Now, use of elements like uranium, thorium, graphite, plutonium, these are atomic compounds, and when these elements are used in atomic plants, radiations are released in air, and thus the air gets polluted with radiations. And these radiations are not only these, any kind of radiations are very harmful for the people, the flora, fauna, everything, and these are also the main causes of cancer. Let's move ahead and see peeping in the history. Now, what has happened already in the past related to the air pollution? There has been a thick fog in London due to air pollution during 5th and 9th of December in 1952. Now, this is like almost 50-60 years back. This fog has happened due to pollution, means that time we were not so advanced, we were not industrially advanced, technology was not advanced 60 years back, still there was pollution and a thick layer of fog was observed in London. Smoke due to burning of coal had mixed dark shadows of this smog. Smoke plus fog is called as smog. This remained in the city for 5 consecutive days. The same situation again occurred after 10 years in 1962 in London. Second incident mentioned over here is in 1948. Now that is almost like another 80 years back. Petersburg was named as Black City when smoke and soot is when coal and wood is burned, the ashes that the residue that stays is called as soot. Smoke and soot caused night-like situation during daytime, and that is why the entire city was called as Black City. Let's move ahead. Air pollutants, its sources and effects. Which are the major pollutants present in the air or the causative agents of air pollution? How they are formed, that is the sources and their effects. Let's see. The first one is sulfur dioxide. Source is factories where coal and mineral oil is used. And effect is irritation of eyes, respiratory tract, excessive mucus, cough, breathing problems, etc. Second is carbon monoxide, CO. Vehicular and industrial smoke is the main causative or main source of this carbon monoxide. The effect is lowered oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. Obviously, blood is the main thing in our body that keeps us alive. And if it gets oxygen in lesser quantities, then we are bound to get ill. Third one is oxides of nitrogen, means NO, NO2, etc. The main source is vehicular smoke. It causes irritation of respiratory tract and lungs. Next one is particulate matter. Particulate matter means small particles that are present in the air. Now, the main source of these particulate matter is also industrial and vehicular smoke, and it causes respiratory disease. Next one is dust. Dust is there around us everywhere, we know that, and that dust is only responsible for the transmission of light also. Again, the source of dust is also vehicular and industrial smoke, and the effect is silicosis. Next one is pesticides. Now, pesticides are chemicals used for agricultural purposes. Production and use of pesticides are the main source of this pollutants, and it causes mental weakness, death due to prolonged exposure, because these are chemicals used to kill the pest. Obviously, it can kill humans also if human beings are exposed for a prolonged period of time. Next one is methane. Methane is CH4. It is a carbon compound. It is formed, or the main source of methane is industrial leakage. It causes poisoning, skin cancer, asthma, respiratory diseases. Let's move ahead, students. Facts. Now, this is a fact that India, or I can say the world, will never ever forget. Bhopal gas tragedy, the very famous Bhopal gas tragedy, the effects of which are still seen today, because the effects that occurred during this tragedy are genetic. The worst ever industrial accident occurred in Bhopal on the night of 2nd December 1984. 8,000 people died due to accidental gas leakage. It was due to methane gas leakage. The effects are long lasting and genetic and still observed. Now, effects of air pollution or on plants and animals. Now, how does air pollution affect? In plants, how it affects: the stomata of the plants get closed. We all know that stomata of the plants are necessary for the purpose of respiration and food production, reproduction. Okay. Then, obviously, when stomata get closed, the rate of photosynthesis will decrease. And then when the rate of photosynthesis will decrease, the plant will not be able to make its own food and ultimately die. So growth is retarded. No photosynthesis, no growth of plant. Growth is retarded, leaves fall off and become yellow. This is the effect on plants. And in animals, respiratory system is adversely affected because we breathe in that polluted air. And second is irritation of eyes. Our eyes are exposed to this polluted air, so irritation of eyes. This we'll see in detail. Now, when air is polluted, of course it affects plants and animals, but how? First is depletion in ozone layer. We all know ozone layer is a layer present in our um, atmosphere. It is like around 23 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Sorry, I'll correct myself. It is 48 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Earlier, we have studied that ozone layer is present below the stratosphere at the height of 48 kilometers from the Earth's surface. It protects the living world of the Earth from ultraviolet rays, UV rays. UV rays are the rays or the emission from the sun, which are harmful, ultraviolet rays that are harmful for human beings. Sun emits them, but this ozone layer absorbs all the ultraviolet rays, and it doesn't allow it to reach to the Earth's surface, and thus protects us. But day to day, due to the air pollution, this ozone layer is getting depleted. Means the thickness of the ozone layer is becoming thinner and thinner. It is getting depleted. And why it is getting depleted? Let's see ahead. First reason of depletion of ozone layer is the greenhouse effect or the global warming. What is it? When CO2 is present in the atmosphere, we know this, but in a very less quantity. But what happens is that over last 100 years, due to industrialization and advancement in our technology and progress, the CO2 has been emitted in excessively large quantities. Okay, effect of this excessively large CO2, what happens that Earth's temperature is raised. CO2 is a gas that absorbs heat. So if more CO2 is present, more heat will be absorbed. And that is why the entire temperature of the earth rises. This is called as greenhouse effect. CO2 is the gas already present on the surface of the earth. It is not a foreign gas or any very harmful gas. We also exhale CO2, but when present in excessive quantities, it creates the greenhouse effect. Similar to CO2, nitrous oxide, methane, CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbons, they also trap the heat. All these gases are now released in huge quantities, and all these gases trap heat and collectively, collectively they give contribute towards the greenhouse effect. Global temperature is gradually increasing due to greenhouse effect. Due to this, atmosphere is changing, causing disturbance in agriculture yield, distribution of wild animals. Icebergs and glaciers are melting, causing increase in sea levels. Now, when the entire temperature of the Earth's surface, Earth's atmosphere will increase, the snow-clad region, icebergs, glaciers in the Antarctic and Arctic areas start melting due to the heat. Due to that, sea levels will increase. Sea level will increase, and ultimately, what happens? The entire climatic condition of the Earth changes. There are seasonal changes which result in the changes or disturbance in the agriculture yield also. Next one, see, this is the greenhouse effect. This is the earth, sun emits energy, okay, and that is absorbed by the atmosphere. Now, infrared radiation, everything is all these energy and infrared radiation, everything is absorbed by the atmosphere, and that is why the entire temperature of the earth starts rising, contributing to greenhouse effect. This is called the greenhouse effect. The next one is acid rain. Now, when oxides of sulfur and nitrogen are released into atmosphere, why these are released? When we burn fuels, these compounds are released into atmosphere. They mix with the rainwater. ठीक है, they mix with rainwater and they form sulfuric acid, nitrous acid, nitrous acid, and nitric acid. And then also when it also mixes with snowflakes and raindrops. And when we receive it, it is called as acid rain. See here in the picture, we can see when we burn fuels, like then SO2, NO2, CO2 are released in the atmosphere. These oxides mix here with water and snowflakes, and we receive acid rain. Let's move ahead. Let's see the effects of acid rain. Now, acid rain, when received, increases the acidity of soil and water bodies, affecting the land and aquatic ecosystems. Next one is, here I'll just make a small correction. It is not erosion of buildings, it is corrosion. Okay. Now, corrosion means corrosion means when any building, any structure or metals, they get affected by acid, they get corroded. Like with an azang lag jana, that is. So entire all the historical monuments and everything get destroyed. Next one is heavy metals like mercury and cadmium are absorbed by plants, and therefore thereby they enter the food chain directly due to the acid rain and affects the plants, animals and human beings, because we eat plants, right? Next is due to acidification of water and water bodies, pipes, leaching of metals, etc. And plastic material occurs in water, and thereby serious health problems arise. What happens? Already in our water bodies there are this plastic and metal present. due to acid when combines with metal and plastic, they release some harmful and toxic compounds and chemicals which are harmful for our health. Let's move ahead and see the preventive measures of air pollution. Smoke emerging from factories contain harmful particles. We saw that already. So hence there should be some pollution controlling machinery installed by these big factories and industries, called as filters or arresters, which can just capture the harmful chemicals inside and only the plain smoke is emitted. Second is proper disposal of stinking waste generated in the cities. Third is control on atomic test chemical weapons. When controlled reaction takes place or it is controlled, how much exposure of radiation is given in the atmosphere, that can lead to less air pollution. Then control or ban over CFC production. Our air conditioners, refrigerators, these produce carbon chlorofluorocarbons. So we should have find an alternative to CFC. That was all about air pollution, kids. Now let's move ahead with the next type of pollution, that is water pollution. Water is very, very important for our life. Water is the basic requirement for living things to survive. We all know that. So water pollution happens, or water is said to be polluted when it becomes unclean and poisonous due to mixing of natural or artificial unwanted material. Water, we drink and use clean water. Can we drink a water in which a fly has been dropped or there are some particles stirring in the water? No. So all unclean, unwanted material present in the water make the water polluted. When it becomes harmful to living organisms due to deoxygenated water, when epidemic diseases spread through water, these all are called as what the water is polluted. Oxygen level in the water decreases, then diseases also spread, etc. Fresh water or marine water pollution includes physical, chemical and biological changes. Now, in water, there are three types of water pollutions: physical, chemical and biological. What are they? Let's study in detail. Biological pollutants like algae, bacteria, virus, parasites. We know that mosquito also breeds in water, larvae of mosquito. Then the water is not potable, does not remain potable. Potable means something that we can drink. So diseases spread through this biological pollution. Second is inorganic pollution. Okay. Inorganic is non-chemical, physical thing. Suspended particles like fine sand, dust, salt precipitates, metals, and radioactive materials. These are inorganic pollutants, and these are also causes of certain cancer and sickness, diseases. And last one is organic pollutants. Weedicides, insecticides, fertilizers, sewage, industrial effluents. Effluents is the waste product. All these when mixed with main water body, the entire water gets chemically polluted. Let's see a fact. Now the fact is large number of tanning centers are present in Tamil Nadu. Okay, waste water from those centers are released into Palar river. Hence the river is referred as Puzzar. Puzzar or gutter river. Means see, these are the actual pictures of Palar river. The water in the Palar river is so contaminated, so polluted that it is literally referred as gutter. Reasons for water pollution. First one is, of course, as we saw in air pollution, natural reasons. Natural reasons, what can they be? Natural reasons like aquatic weeds, with excessive growth of weeds is there, depletion in O2 level, changes in natural qualities of water. Next is decomposing matter. Although natural, but decomposed matter of plant and animal, if they are there in the water, then that water does not remain potable for human beings. Next is mud and sludge, slimy sludge, mud, because of river current, the flow of the river and its diversions, the sand and sludge mixes with the river water. Then next one is soil erosion. Due to excessive soil erosion, the water becomes very brownish in color, and that is not good for intake. Many abiotic and biotic factors, they get mixed with the water due to soil erosion. Then microbes like fungi and bacteria grow on the organic matter that are decaying in the water already, like we said, plant and animal bodies. So again, that are the source of uh, water pollution. Then algae. Algae is present in the water bodies, but excessive algal growth is not good. It pollutes the entire water body. Nematodes. Nematodes flow with rainwater. Soil nematodes. We know that nematodes are kind of bacteria. They stay on the roots of the plant. So when soil erosion happens, these nematodes flow in the water body. Let's move ahead and see the man-made reasons of water pollution. Those are domestic sewage. What day-to-day sewage is there from our houses, offices, and villages, cities. These all sewage, if get disposed in water, then it becomes domestic sewage. Industrial effluent, industrial waste. Effluent is waste. Then there, what are these various pigments, bleaching chemicals, leather pieces, fibers, chemicals like mercury, lead, etc. If these are released into water, they are the man-made reasons of water pollution. And the last and third one is oil spillage. When while transportation, cleaning of tankers, oil spills in the water. Big oil containers are carried through water bodies. So when oil spills, oil forms a layer on the water body. What happens? The water does not get direct sunlight and oxygen. Ultimately, the oxygen level of the water body decreases and it has adverse effect on the aquatic life under that water. Fourth one is use of fertilizers and pesticides. We know that we use a hell lot of fertilizers and pesticides for our agriculture production, etc. So when these flow and mix with water, they pollute the entire water body. The other reasons: human disposal of waste, human waste, washing of clothes, decomposing hemp and flax in water, then disposal of ashes, offerings to God, water from thermal plant, etc. These are human activities that we actually do in our day-to-day life, which ultimately pollutes the water bodies. Now we have seen the reasons, man-made and natural, both reasons of water pollution. Now we see the effects of water pollution. First is effect on human beings. We drink water. We drink water, we use water for our hygienic purposes, we use water for cooking. So ultimately water is entering our body, touching our skin. So we get diseases like hepatitis, typhoid, skin diseases, then alimentary canal diseases. Also, we get ailments of organs like liver, kidney, brain deformities, and bones, and also hypertension, because there are many chemicals and such radioactive residues also present in the water. Next is effect of water on ecosystem. Retarded plant growth. Ecosystem is the life around us, like plant and animal life. So retarded plant growth, as we saw that plant stomata also gets closed and all that. Then next is loss of plant species. We can actually lose a particular species if the water is polluted. Increase in salt content of the water, then decreased oxygen level in the water, disturbance in the ecosystem. Aquatic ecosystem is fishes and the plants that grow underwater. Death of aquatic animals, like we see in this picture, due to polluted water, these fishes have died. Adverse effects on seabirds. There are many seabirds and they are actually getting extinct nowadays due to the adverse condition that are happening in the aquatic ecosystem. Third one is other effects. Basic other effects of the water pollution are changes in physical and chemical properties of the entire water body. Then color and taste of the water changes. Aquatic fauna is destroyed. Fauna is the animal life under the water is destroyed. Soil fertility is affected, and toxic materials are added to the crops. And that crops we eat, and finally we get infected due to that also. Let's see. Now here we ended air and water pollution. Now we are moving towards the soil pollution, land pollution. Out of the total area of soil, some is covered by ice and some is desert, while some are mountains and hills. Then very less area remains for human use. Productivity. Now soil is said to be polluted when there are changes in its biological chemical properties, and its fertility decreases due to other man-made or natural reasons. Now, what are these biological and chemical properties? The original soil is of red color, and then what minerals are present in the soil. These are biological and chemical properties of the soil. But when it changes due to either natural or man-made reasons, then we say that the soil is polluted. Let's let's see the effects of soil pollution. Now, soil fertility decreases, of course, because salty, acidic water from industry and everything mixes with it. Radioactive and other pollutants also mix with the soil. Now, this water will be taken in by the plants for their growth. So, what happens that it enters the food chain and then affects the animal and humans. Next is problem of water pollution increases due to soil pollution. Toxic substances reach. Here I'll just make a small mistake. This is reach. Toxic substances reach into water. Similarly, diseases spread through various pathogens present in the water. Then they enter the food chain as I told you earlier. Let's move ahead and see relationship of water pollution, soil pollution, air pollution. Means main is relationship of soil pollution with air and water pollution. How soil pollution is directly affected by air and water pollution. If wet waste is dumped at wrong places instead of composting, pathogens grow on it, and then they are mixed with water, causing water pollution. Okay, then insecticides, fertilizers, chemicals, weedicides, all these things are used in agriculture, which causes soil pollution. Then excessively sprayed insecticides and weedicides, they also cause air pollution. Similarly, these excessive fertilizers also enter the water stream and they cause water pollution. Soil pollution occurs due to mixing of human waste, birds and animal wastes. These waste or stinking gases that are produced from these waste cause air pollution, and the same waste if get mixed in the water, it causes water pollution. So ultimately, soil pollution is directly related to air and water pollution. Let's move ahead and see the pollution prevention control. How can we prevent the pollution occurring, and how can we control that how much pollution is occurring around us? Now, Government of India has enacted some or enforced some laws for control and regulation and prevention of pollution. Following are the three laws that the government has enforced. The first one is Water Pollution Prevention Act that was passed in 1974. Second one is Air Pollution and Prevention Act that was passed in 1981. Third one is Environmental Protection Act passed in 1986. There are various sections of these laws, and there are also legal actions taken if you are not abiding these laws. Now, various laws and rules are enforced in relation to biomedical waste. You cannot dispose, or any pharmaceutical company, hospitals, they cannot dispose their biomedical waste with the general waste. Always it is kept separated and they are disposed in a separate way. Harmful effluents and solid waste and sound pollution, for all of these, there are laws enforced. Government statutory bodies like Maharashtra Pollution Control Board And Central Pollution Control Board always supervise the whether the industries, industrial areas, and local government bodies like municipalities, these are kept in control, and all of them, they follow laws about pollution. We have seen that our vehicles, we need to do a PUC check. Why? Because to keep the pollution under control. PUC is pollution under control, whether how much harmful smoke our vehicle is emitting. Also, in major metro cities nowadays, there are screens near the traffic signals. They show the air quality. Because there are such kind of machines which detect the presence of harmful chemicals in the air, pollutants in the air, and they show how healthy the air is in which we breathe. So these boards, Maharashtra Control Board, Central Pollution Control Board, and other states also have their own control boards. So they, along with the local government bodies, Panchayat Samiti, they work together to control the pollution. So here we come to the end of this chapter. Just take a quick recap of points to remember. Now, what we have studied in this chapter is contamination of natural environment that will be harmful to ecosystem is called as pollution. Okay, pollutants means the pollution causing agents can be man-made or natural. Next is air pollution. We studied its causes, effects, and prevention. Also, we studied about the greenhouse effect, acid rain, and which are the result or the outcome of air pollution. Then next we saw the water pollution, which can be biological, organic, or inorganic. Then we studied reasons of and effects of water pollution, which are man-made as well as natural, and its effects are seen on plants, animals, and human beings. Then next one we studied was reasons and effects of soil pollution. We studied a relationship of soil pollution with air and water. Means if soil is polluted or the land around you is polluted, then definitely the air and water around you is going to be polluted. Also, the last point was preventive measures taken by the government. So my dear students, hope this chapter was made easy by me and hope you understand. In case of any queries, please drop your questions in the comment section and we will surely solve your queries. Till we meet again, please stay tuned to our channel. Please subscribe, hit the like button and stay tuned on Zenith Academy online. See you.